Yaya allowed herself a small, internal sigh. Miller was a dead end, a closed door. He represented the conventional world, a world that refused to acknowledge the darker currents flowing beneath its placid surface. But his very resistance, his carefully veiled discomfort, confirmed her growing suspicion. Something extraordinary, something profoundly disturbing had occurred. The deaths were not merely tragic, they were orchestrated. And the perpetrator was not simply a killer, but something far more insidious. As she rose to leave, her gaze swept across Miller's desk, lingering on a discarded notepad. A single, almost illegible doodle was scrawled in the corner. It wasn't a symbol she recognized, but the swirling lines held a strange energy, a faint echo of the anomaly she had sensed in the reports. The shadow over her serenity was deepening, but with it, her resolve solidified. She would follow the whispers, trace the unseen currents. The air in Liam's study, usually alive with the scent of old paper, now carried the acrid tang of neglect and decay. It had been a sanctuary, a space where his sharp intellect could wrestle with complex theories. Now, it was a mausoleum of memories. Yaya moved through the room with reverence, her fingers trailing over the spines of books filled with forgotten lore and ancient philosophies. He had possessed a rare gift, not unlike her own, a heightened sensitivity to the subtle energies that permeated the world. He had spoken of chakras, of auras, of the subtle manipulation of human will through these unseen forces. At the time, Yaya had indulged him. She ran her hand over his antique mahogany desk. Amongst the scattered papers, a small leather-bound journal lay open. Her heart ached as she read his familiar script. He had been on the precipice of a profound discovery, blurring psychology and the ethereal. Her gaze fell upon frantic annotations. He documented subtle anomalies that mirrored the circumstances of her family's demise. He wrote of a deliberate obscuring of intent, of an artificial calm, and began to sketch symbols accompanied by notes about an unseen observer. Then her eyes landed on a passage that made her breath hitch. Liam had been documenting his growing suspicion of a man referred to as Mr. G. Liam theorized that Yi possessed a unique perception, an ability to see the underlying energy fields of individuals and to manipulate them. He doesn't just read people. He sees them like a painter sees his canvas, and then he paints over them. It's not mind control, not in the traditional sense. It's a whisper in the soul, a gentle nudge that feels like their own thought. Be sure to share and follow Lit for pennies and comment for part 11.